gosh, am I ever going to be able to memorize this thing? That's how it feels when you're practicing a talk. And I've just discovered that my talk is a little bit too long. Let's see what we're going to do about that right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're not following the journey, 123celebrate.com. And for even more content, Being Unapologetic TV.com. Follow my journey right to the TED stage in Colorado Springs and taking you behind the scenes to really show you how I'm putting together the entire talk. So today I am practicing my talk. Now we're gonna go and fill in the blanks about how I actually designed the talk and put it together. But this is a really important part of the process where I've been kind of procrastinating for the last few days because I have this fear of not being able to memorize it. You know, it's 18 minutes long. There's several slides. The way I do talks, there are a lot of images involved. So it's pretty complicated. And it doesn't have to be complicated, but even if you're speaking for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you know, there's an element of memorization and internalization that goes on. And I just want to take you behind the curtain and let you know, so I've been practicing for about 2-3 hours today, just going through my slides, going through my notes and reciting it. And with every repetition, the information, the words that I spoke and wrote out myself are becoming more and more internalized and more natural for me to say them. So one thing is, repetition is your friend. It's gonna feel scary. It's gonna feel messy. It's gonna feel like you're never gonna make it and you're always gonna trip up at certain words. That's okay. Just repeat things over and over again. Now, another key thing is, so if you're going through phrases in your talk and you notice that you can't quite say it because it's awkward, or, you know, if you're not using a contraction, like you have to be this way instead of you've got to be this way, just as an example, make things supernatural so that it sounds like you speaking and not you reading from a script. And that will start to come out as you go through and repeat things over and over again. So I've gone through a couple of runs, and while the talk is going to tighten up, the more you practice and rehearse it, the tighter it'll be and the time generally shortens. And in general, for most people, when they're in high pressure anxiety situations like speaking on a stage in front of 10 people or 700 people, which should be the size of the audience in Colorado Springs, you tend to speed up. So I know that I'm not in bad shape. However, right now, the talk times out at about 19 minutes, which is a minute too long. And realistically, I'd probably want to get that down to 17 and a half minutes. So I'm going through slide by slide and I'm looking for ways to condense the message, to keep it focused, and to take out everything that is extra. So one of the things to remember with a TED Talk, TEDx style talk, is that you want it to be about one thing, the idea worth spreading, and everything that you say has to support that idea worth spreading. So in my case, my talk is about overcoming comparanoia, and while there are some side stories that I tell, I need you to take out all of the extra detail that doesn't serve the final point, the final idea that I have, which is that celebration is the antidote to comparanoia. So everything that I say has to boil down to that, has to bring the listener to that moment. And so to shave out the minute, you just keep repeating things through, and every time I do another repetition of the talk, I say something, I'm like, maybe that's not important, or I realize I'm repeating myself where I don't need to be repeating myself. So repetition. Beyonce in her songs does a lot of repetition. And it's not just for getting people to remember an idea and for you to remember your talk, but through that repetition, you're also building your confidence. You're also overcoming your own comparanoia that you're not going to be able to do it. And you're also allowing yourself to go through the talk in a way that you're starting to hear it back for yourself. And you're asking yourself, wait, does that make sense? Do I really need to say that? Maybe I should say it this way. Maybe I can condense this down. And the more times you do it, the more natural it becomes and the more you start to identify what stays and what goes. So practice is not fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I will tell you something that when you finally start to do it, and like my experience today was as soon as I started to practice and I started to realize, like after the first time, I'm like, oh, I'm actually getting this and I actually like this stuff because hey, I wrote it and I'm excited about it and it's my it's my idea for the world. I'm excited to bring it to the world. You get more and more excited. So schedule the time in for yourself to really just go through it. It's gonna be scary. I'm working with another speaker who's gonna be on the same TEDx stage as I am, and I'm coaching him through his talk. And he's scared. It's messy. Yes, it's messy. Just be committed to repetition, 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 repetition. Discipline. What Celine Dion has the great quote where she says, my entire life has been discipline, discipline, discipline. So just be disciplined to repeating your talk over and over again, being conscious of what you're repeating, what is extra, what is the actual message about, and just cleaning it up so that it's super clear for your audience. There you go. I want to give you a behind the scenes look. Just a regular weekend here, a couple weeks, we're 2 weeks out now from giving the talk, and I'm taking you backstage right onto that red dot. All right, I hope you're having a great weekend yourself or whenever you watch this, and we will see you soon, sooner than later, on that red dot. Follow me here, beingUnapologeticTV.com and 123celebrate.com. See you soon.